Hi. March 11 was a defining moment for the people living in this country. And today's my talk is about ongoing our project. And I will deliver this talk as a person coming from a university community. Or rather I should say, the person coming from the Hokkaido University community. Well, my title is There is Nothing We Can Do for March 11. What's a negative title? But this talk is not about giving up everything. This talk is rather accepting what it's happened and use this as March 11 as an opportunity to face a new frontier we have to face in the future. Few months ago, here in Japan, we start to see new weather forecast message. It said, beware of the heavy rain you have never experienced. The frontier we are facing right now is not untouched land, or outer space, or deep sea we are dreaming about. What we see here is a disaster coming from the climate change. Whether you believe global warming or not, in past 2 decades, we have seen mega disaster hitting us. Mega typhoon, hurricane, flood, like Professor Yamada mentioned about. So, we have to gain the tolerance or resilience to conquer this new frontier. I believe that the March 11th is our opportunity to gain such an ability, to gain the ability to conquer this frontier. Frontier, we have to face the human survival and risk to maintain the sustainable society. Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Gakushi Ishimura. I have been trained in natural resource economics and management. Extensively, I work for the international fishery resources. And also, I'm applying the kind of interdisciplinary technique, so-called bioeconomic analysis. Bioeconomic analysis is a mixture of the econometrics, also microeconomics, and mathematical biology. But here at Hokkaido University, I'm a faculty, only a few faculty in this university teaching leadership. Also, I'm the person working for the developing sustainability science education program here at the university. But today, I would like to focus on my research. But not like as the previous speakers. My talk is more like a personal story. My story starts with Kesennuma. Kesennuma is in the northern. It's located in the north of Japan, and this is the 9th largest fisheries landing value in Japan in 2010. And this is quite famous place for the longline tuna fisheries. And what happened to this city or this area in the March 11 was devastated, threefold disaster. First, earthquake shake this area. Then tsunami hit it. Because of that unique structure of this coastal area, very deep and very narrow, the tsunami's power was amplified. And unfortunate thing about this city was, this tsunami hit to the fuel tank, and fuel tank drifted, and oil spilled, and got fires. So it sounds weird, but most of the city were underwater. However, everything was burned out. If you see CNN or BBC, in the darkness, fire was burning. That's a view coming from Kesennuma. Well, everything was underwater, and everything was burned. But there is one hope exists in this city. That is offshore longliner fisheries. Offshore longliner fisheries, this group is quite unique in the sense they're targeting two species. One is a blue shark and another is swordfish. Particularly, the blue shark is really important. As some of you may know, Quezon-Numa is the one largest, Quezon-Numa has largest production for the shark processing product. So this landing blue shark is integrated to the local economy and generate employment. As you know, everything is under the water, everything is burned out. So people don't have any job in Quezon-Numa. So recovery for this fishery is not only for these fishery sectors. It's connected to the local economy, enhance the economy. This is economic kick to this area. So that is my motivation to involve this recovery programs. Currently, I'm involved in several different programs, but today I would like to introduce two projects. This is ongoing, so it's not the final result. And it's not the science, because recovery is not all about science. Okay. First story is about swordfish. Swordfish fisheries for the longline fisheries, offshore longline fisheries, quite unique. This is the only a few groups targeting swordfish in Japan. 2009 to 2010, I have been assigned as a national stock assessment scientist for Japan to assess this swordfish at the International Fisheries Commission, together with statisticians from the US. Stock assessment is science, mixture of the statistics and mathematics, and to estimate how many fish exist under the water. The interesting is, well, our calculation said, and also this is official in the International Fisheries Commission. In North Pacific, we have plenty of the swordfish to catch. And also, what I found was the ex-vessel price. That's the price of the swordfish is quite expensive. That's $10 per kilogram. It's quite pricey fish. But problem, even prior to the March 11th, the fisherman and owner told me they have economic hardship. So it's a kind of puzzle. We cannot figure out why they have an economic hardship. There are fish there, and the price is high. Why you cannot get money? So our study started to do the kind of interdisciplinary way, combine the mathematical biology and econometrics, also microeconomic theories. This is one of the snapshot or one result. X-axis shows effort, that's how many days they travel, and y-axis for you left side, this shows the landing. It means how many swordfish you catch, and it shows with a black line. And another side of y-axis shows the profit. Profit shows the dot lines. As you see it, actually this line showed that before the March 11. Before March 11, their average travel days was 41 days. And they yield $14,000 around. And they got 60 metric ton swordfish. Think about it. 20 guys working 1.5 months and just get $40,000. It's not good business. If it's a real business, it's going to go bankrupt because these guys working really hard, 24 hours. They don't sleep and just keep going to fishing. Such hard work cannot be rewarded with this profit. So we include several factors they never think about it, like the quality of fish affects the price, also each segment of activities, how much they use the fuel. So including fuel cost, we calculated what's optimum, what's economic optimality in these fisheries. The result is with this blue line. That's 25 days. 25 days, also it's yield 43,000 US dollar, but it doesn't maximize to 30 metric ton. It's only 30 metric ton. It's happened because you don't like it all the fish, right? You like to eat all the sashimi? No, right? So when the already catch fish getting older, the price is going down. And also problem here is fuel cost. As you know, the recent years, the rocket high, the oil price, it's really hitting the operations. Like in the 90s, their oil cost was like 20–30%, but past 10 years, when I calculated, it was like around 50%. But somehow they try to catch more and more. It's a kind of nature. Fishing is a kind of hunting. If you want to, once you go there, you want to fill out your vessels. So, fishermen didn't know this result? Sure, they know that. But they don't know what the exact date is optimal. And also, the result we showed is correct or accurate. Of course, it's not. Because this is a kind of model exercise is simplifications. The real world is complex. But what we started to do is set the stage for the discussion, set the stage of the building, the recovery plan or recovery. And more than that, interesting happened during this process was, we did interview to each fisherman. We have a kind of dialogue, like a 30 minutes conversation with owners. And we posed this question. What is ideal status? How much revenue you get? You have confidence to say, your kids, please take over my business. Most of them said, like 2 million US dollar. And when they set these 2 million US dollar, now we can get into the science. That is, what the step we can achieve, what resources is required. Well, this is what we expected. But what we see here in this activity was more than that. What happened here is, once we start to ask the ideal status, their activities or involvement in the research started to change. And I realized that this process, what we did, is building a vision. Vision is something, if you see the hardship to conquer and to reach to the better place than now, you have to set it. And once you set the vision, you will be motivated to achieve it. After March 11, they said, most of the owners said, okay, 2 or 3 years, government will pay for us, subsidies. We can survive, then we can quit. It's a kind of devastating situation. It was. But once we start to build the conversations and start to build this process, their activities start to change. Involvement to us is totally different. So, what we have learned here, this activity is, well, science is not the result. Activity of our science sometimes generate a vision. And such a special occasion, like a post-disaster, science for vision is really important and key. Also, vision, you have to remember that. Vision is really a key to motivate people to achieve it, to facing the hardship. Second story is blue shark fisheries. How many of you ever tried blue shark? No? Well, I guess you did. It's a fish cake, actually. They do the fish cake. But blue shark is more than fish cake. What happened to blue shark fishery is more different kind of perspective. It's not the research, more like outreach stuff we are doing that. But what happened to blue shark fisheries in Kisenuma was, prior to March 11, prior to March 11th, UK Guardian, a magazine, criticized the shark fisheries at Kisenma. They said they cut the fin and through the body, they waste the shark, which is endangered. Well, it's a kind of twisted story. For us, the truth is a little bit different. What we see these fisheries, and the truth is, these fisheries is different from the rest of the world, the shark fisheries. Rest of the world, they just cut the fin and throw the body. And they really depleted the fisheries, shark resources. But here in Kisenma, Kisenma is the only place in the world actually can utilize everything, fin, bone, meat, skin, everything, really utilize it. It's over 90% we can utilize. Again, this is the only place in the world. And more than that, we believe that, not we believe that, actually the official result for the stock assessment for the International Fisheries Commission doesn't come yet. But pretty much our expectation is the resource, blue shark resource is quite good. So it means the resource is good, we utilize it well. For us, it's a healthy fisheries. And for us, not only the healthy fisheries, this is the key to recover this area because it generates employment in this area. So I started to have a dialogue, the NGOs, and I flew to Hong Kong several times to have a discussion, to find a common ground us as fishery sectors with the NGO or conservation sectors. And what I found was that most of the NGO, well, they are not against the shark fisheries. They are against because they believe that shark fishery is not sustainable. Okay, if it's not sustainable, if it is sustainable, that's okay, right? And everybody said it's fine. So the solution was quite obvious. We will get certificate for the sustainable fisheries to get their support. So what happened is, if you stand in Kisenma, you think about it, you beware to fight with the NGO guys, it doesn't work. But more global perspective, you act, you talk with the people outside. That start to change. And more than that, actually what I found in Hong Kong was quite interesting. It's okay, we thought it's protecting our fisheries. But more than that, well, Kisenma is the only place we can establish sustainable shark fisheries. Well, demand for the shark fin is decreasing right now because of NGOs' activities. But still, there is a demand. So once we get this certificate, the things start to change. You know that in the free market with a hidden hand, supply and demand, if less supply, demand is still high. In this case, price is going up. So we can establish premium shark products from Kisenma. It's the only one in the world. And it could be the kick for the economy in this area. So what I have learned from this second story is the global perspective, global thinking, start to build the idea and resilience to the issue. If you're standing there, you cannot see it. But if you start to act, and particularly like these resources, have a global perspective, act globally, the things start to change. You will see the solution. So, what I have done in these two projects, well, I have two more projects, but I use recovery as a living lab. I got my PhD 3 years ago. I'm really entry-level researcher. I have never imagined I come to the academic, but I'm here, so I have to gain experience. And I'm sure this matter doesn't finish within like 2 or 3 years. Maybe it's continuing. If I'm lucky, I can engage with 10 years or until my retirement. And this is a kind of opportunity for the practical learning which one of the principles we have in this university. Well, again, we are facing the new frontier. New frontier, we are in danger by the mega disaster caused by climate change. No matter what happened, we cannot avoid it. And the key will be the resilience and the recovery. And this March11 is our opportunity to gain the experience ourselves, expand our ability, train ourselves, and train our student. Oops. Now, I'd like to conclude this talk. Well, I was asked to deliver the talk to the students potentially come to our university. But obviously, I intend this talk to our community, Hokkaido University community too. Our university, 130 years ago, well, we had 13 graduates from this school. Since then, we have 4 principles. One is frontier spirit, one is practical learning, and another is global perspectives, and all-round education. 130 years ago, Hokkaido was untouched land. Well, there are some people, but there was no agriculture, no fisheries. But these people came. The only thing they could learn is just to try it. That is practical learning. They really like to do that? Well, they have to do that time. Also, these people, interesting is, they didn't stay in Hokkaido. After they graduate, they go over the world and contribute to different dimensions, sometimes to politicians, sometimes to educators. And all-round education, which we have. Our school's science is great. We got the Nobel Prize winner. We are top niche in the world. But also our education, beauty of our education is, we also emphasize all-round education, which brings to the humanity, or more like a humanity kind of the education. And recovery, and to face the new frontier, which danger our life by the climate change. This approach is really important. And I believe that because of this 130 years history and our 4 principles, traditions, we as a community can contribute. And also we need to be involved, not only because of the contribute to the recovery. More than that, we train ourselves with these 4 principles. We expand our ability to coming the new frontier we are facing. Thank you.